Hello, friends. My name is Colleen Wagner, arguably better known as Butch Jesus on Instagram.com. Today I'm sitting down for an interview with the one and only Selena, aka Forever Future Star, in anticipation of her upcoming album, When Will the DJ of Love Grant Me My One Request? Her sound, that is lyrically, vocally, and musically ethereal, gives you the impression of your best friend who is also a literal angel telling you about their issues with dating in heaven. The divine head to head with reality. This record oscillates between self-love and longing to be loved, dread and excitement, irritation and openness. Stream of consciousness-esque, tightly produced, and startlingly easy to listen to, this album of bops is for anyone with even a modicum of heart. Selena so bravely asked the public if anyone would come forward to interview her, and I, also bravely, and some would say with great nobility, took up the mantle. And so, without further fanfare, here is my first and only and best interview with the endlessly radiant future star. Well, my dear Selena, how the hell are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I got home from work, this is my second interview of the day, and I also had an 8-hour shift today, so I'm really feeling like I'm crushing it. I don't know. I just ate some vitamins as well, like vitamin gummies. Delicious and literally vitamins, so it's good for you. Yeah. No, I'm just chilling in my room, hanging out with the one, the only, my friend Colleen, Butch Jesus.
Stop.
Butch Jesus. Butch Jesus.
Stop it.
Wow, what a crazy pronunciation. Yeah. I'm really excited for this. I have been excited for this all week, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been excited too. I mean, like I said, this is my first only and hopefully my best interview that I've ever done. So, in preparation for this, I've been listening to, all of your music that I can find on the internet on Bandcamp, which we will, at the end of this, we will drop. Maybe you can tell people where they can find you once we're done here. But
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I've admired you from some distance for quite a while, I have to say. And I want to know what it's like to be the crown jewel of Victoria.
Okay. Basically, just to preface, Colleen, when we were discussing that she would interview me, was like, I feel like maybe I'm creating these questions that are just leading you to agree with me that you're good and great. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I didn't expect that. Yeah.
How does it feel?
How does it feel? You're not
to be the crown jewel.
Honestly, it's not every day that you. I don't know, Colleen. What kind of question is that? Oh my god.
I'm complimenting you and also trolling you at the same time, which is kind of what I came here to do. Well, okay, we can just talk about the music that you recorded, and that's why we're talking at all. Okay, so I really want to know what have you been classically trained in singing or piano or anything like that before?
Yes.
What is your background in in the art part of making music?
So my mom is a piano teacher. I started playing piano when I was 4 or something. And I've been in, I started singing through choirs and church choir and stuff like that. And I always emulated my piano teacher, who later became my voice teacher and was my choir teacher as well. So I always emulated her and just always really wanted to be a really good singer. So I ended up going to jazz school. That was kind of a weird choice, but I'm glad that it took me where it did, which is I found that my real passion is not necessarily just singing a pretty song, but I really enjoy songwriting. I really love telling stories through song. And I love talking about myself. I love
the mark of any true musician.
Yeah. I love being able to take my own what is kind of the crap of my feelings and like turn it into something that other people can relate to, that other people might find comfort and joy in. I like that process of like turning crap into gold is like to me the power of art, and like the power of it's like my form of self-care, like my most primary form of self-care, I think. And it happens to be something that people like, and like I've always my priority is always with writing music is write a song that I want to listen to, write a song that is fun for me to write a song that I'm like, yeah, that sounds sick. um and like at the end of the day, like if someone else also thinks it sounds cool, then that's great. But yeah, like I'm always writing for myself, and I try not to write for anyone else. And yeah,
Right.
it's everything I do is influenced by the people around me, by things I like. Yeah, I don't know. Things
Well,
and
it sounds
people
like
that I like.
you know quite a bit. You've been thinking about this a lot. And and yeah, I mean, like I wanted to know whether you're classically trained because I heard that somebody once told me that you had been to jazz school. And like how long ago was that?
That was I went to jazz school right after high school because I was like,
Right.
I guess I'm supposed to follow my passion. So I guess singing is and jazz for some reason is my passion. So I was like, well, classical music school, that's too hard to get into. But I went to jazz school for 5 years. I went from
Oh wow.
2018 to 2008. I graduated in 2008. I went to jazz school until I graduated jazz school in 2013.
Right.
Um, yeah, so I did like I have a bachelor degree in vocal jazz. That's my shameful secret.
That's not shameful at all. That's
It's just
actually pretty dope. And I think that kind of like in ways that really that kind of comes across in the music that you write now. And I've noticed that a few of the tracks on this new album are lifted off of previous EPs.
yeah, yeah.
Hallelujah, I'm Alone Forever.
And
Like
the
there, I
first
know there's
half
like
is basically Hallelujah, I'm Alone Forever. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, which is great. And you've kind of you've taken those and you've added in some more like experimental kind of synth sounds that I haven't really heard on your previous stuff, and
Yeah.
you've made the tracks more holistic, and your voice vocal performance is quite a bit better too. Like you've gotten better over the last little bit, which is pretty amazing because you've got a great voice. But I wanted to know that I wanted to know like when you do complete a song, is it usually that they just sort of like they're in your past and they're sort of static, or do you often revisit your older works and sort of rework on them? Like, and, you know, and like in kind of like the thread of jazz, which is more about performance and the song being alive versus a recorded version. Like, do you often go back and
Hmm.
revisit and rework stuff and like, because I feel like that's a thing with jazz as well. I could see that sort of influence.
That's a really thoughtful question. I
Thank you.
never thought of that before, actually. I like for me, I was like basically okay. So how this album came to be is, I recorded Hallelujah, I'm Alone Forever in my room, like using literally this mic, and nothing else. And I released it because I was like, whatever, like this is a good cathartic moment of me being able to
Mm-hmm.
let go of this feeling, let go of these songs, show them the world, whatever. And then Tim, my friend Tim Clapp, reached out. He's the Kingfisher Blues guy, and he reached out to me and was like, "This would be a sick album. Like, just like write six more songs and let's make it a vinyl." Like, and I was like, no, 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 Tim, no, 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 I can't release a vinyl. I'm not famous enough. Oh no, Tim, I'm not gonna be. I would never be able to sell anything like that. But he was just very persistent, and I ended up being like, okay, sure, I'll do it. Like, I'll like write a few more songs around this theme, and we'll make it into an album. Um, and that's what we did. So like in terms of revisiting the songs, it was more like specifically for this album. And like for me, I was like, if it's gonna be on vinyl, I want it to sound a little better and different. um
Mm-hmm.
you want it to be it's because like the Hallelujah, I'm Alone Forever, that EP is effectively a demo EP. It's not like, I don't know, it's not mastered. I don't know how to do that. um and like it's like a lot of my EPs, like it's just like me recording it in my bedroom and making it sound as loud as I can. And and then just like putting it on Bandcamp, and that's it. But
right,
yeah,
you're just like jacking up all the levels and like send it off to Bandcamp, whatever.
Exactly, whatever. Like I don't, I have a hard time taking myself seriously. Like I have had, at least in the past, a hard time taking myself seriously enough to like really put, money and time and like really committing to myself, I guess. But Tim really helped me in the process of the idea, like putting out a vinyl is a big deal to me. It's like putting out a vinyl is like you're committing money to that. You're putting your commitment down in so many ways. You're committing to the time it takes to promo it. You're committing to the time it takes to press, and like it's just like a big object, like it's a large object versus like a cassette, which is like, oh, I'll just do a run of 50 and it's like no big deal and I'll probably sell them at a show. Like vinyl, I'm releasing a vinyl during COVID. Like hopefully I sell them all, but I'm kind of banking on myself a little more than I have in the past. And that's right. Kind of, I don't know. It's something that I'm really grateful to Tim for like helping me like feel like I can do that. Like helping me be like, no, you're worth it. You're worth putting your stuff on vinyl. Like no more of this like lollygagging about like let's like, even though like I think that it's totally, I personally think I also have ethics that are like, I think it's 100% legit to release things. I like to just release things on cassette or just digitally. I think it's 100% legit to like, commit to like what you're comfortable with. And I think it's always going to be good. Like not everyone has the resources or like the social capital to release a vinyl. Mm-hmm. I'm very privileged in that way, but like, yeah, I don't know. It just feels, it felt good to like be like, I can do this. I'm having someone tell me they're willing to help me with this. I can do this, and I will do this. Whereas in the past, I'd had opportunities like that before, but I've been like, I can't do that. Like, it doesn't feel like something I can do. It feels like, but I don't know. I think it was maybe always something I could do, but I didn't really feel able to or something. I don't know. That maybe was a very long. Maybe you just
needed that push from your.
Yeah. From someone with access, and I need the push from someone who like knows how to do that kind of thing, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. But like going back to your original question, which I don't even remember what it was. Something about jazz.
Well, it was about. Yeah. I mean, to like quickly reiterate, is basically I found that you had been revisiting these tracks that you had released before, and like put together in like a more put together way for this new album. And I wanted to know whether or not you like revisit your works often, like
I don't
in the thread of jazz, like seeing a song as being alive versus something being static. Like that's the gist.
I actually feel that like, well, every time you perform something, it's a little different, but also, ooh.
Sorry, my cat's here.
Aww.
Hi.
Yeah, I feel like I lean more towards like songs being static, like just because I mostly perform. Oh my gosh, what an angel!
Sorry,
I love it.
I'm just gonna fuck my recording up. Okay. Maybe we'll just edit that part out. Can you start from the beginning?
Yes. I was just saying like I often don't really revisit songs. I will like I play songs that are from the first, like when I first started writing songs. I still play Helmet's song all the time. That's the first song I ever wrote on my own. And I still play karaoke all the time. I wrote that song in like 2016 when I was living in Coquitlam. Like I revisit songs.
Oh man, I remember that.
Yeah, I revisit these songs like through performance, I feel like, but not necessarily through recording. This was a very specific, sort of unique chance to like to go back and revisit some older tunes. Cool. I guess just because I was like, well, I guess I need to do something a little different. Like, so it was like a fun opportunity. And I don't know what's going to happen next, but maybe I'll do it again. I feel like I really love creating new content though. That's the thing. Like I love writing new songs.
You put out a lot. You put out a lot of content.
I love content. I'm a content creator.
You do it well. I'm not. This is not. That sounded kind of condescending, but you do put out quite a bit of content, and you are good at it.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, it must be like quite a change from like, just like you were saying, sort of like slapping, these songs together and just like throwing them out onto Bandcamp and like,
To sit
like
on them.
whatever. Yeah, just sort of sit on them and like work through them in a way and
Hmm.
layer them a lot. Like another thing that I've noticed on this record is there's a larger bass and percussion presence. And
Mm.
some of the songs are a little bit, I guess, maybe like a little bit more like dance poppy, kind of leaning
Well,
towards that way a little
that
bit.
was the Tom Whalen influence because it's Tom, my friend Tom of Tommy Tone, um
Hmm.
sort of was my, I asked him to be my producer. I was just like, Tom, be my producer, and he was like, yeah, sure. Just because I was like, you're a person that I'm comfortable with, who I think might have some different ideas, so I think it would be fun to work with. Like I think that I would feel comfortable with you in the studio. um and yeah, so Tom added all the drum tracks and stuff. He had like all these real specific ideas about like drum sounds and stuff that I don't care about at all, but like I'm like, well, it
Hmm.
sounds cool now. But like yeah, like but yeah, so the drum machines and stuff is all Tom. There actually is no bass on the album aside from like the bass of the keyboard, like the lower end of the keyboard.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was picking up
Yeah,
on, I
yeah.
think.
And like there's like, and I actually, there's a couple songs where I think I used more than one keyboard and sort of like added a bass, added like lower noise with another keyboard, if that makes sense. I think I did that.
Yeah, yeah, I've definitely noticed like on this album there's a lot more layering,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
musically, but also like vocally, you have a lot more, like you're doing harmony with yourself like a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
more.
Yeah, I just, I wanted to do something a little different, a little more, I wanted to try a little harder. Yeah. And I did.
Yeah.
And I think it worked out. I really like this album. I'm really proud of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did too. I think the album is a total delight to listen to.
Oh, thank you,
For
Colleen.
the most, yeah, thank you. For the most part, your songs kind of cap out at two
Yeah.
minutes. And I was just wondering if that was intentional or if that was kind of the same thing as, in the same vein as sort of being like, yeah, I'm throwing this together, I'm throwing it out on the internet. Or if that is something that like you do on purpose to keep songs tight. Because your songs often are quite tight. Like
Yeah.
they're perfect little encapsulations for the most part.
That's what I aim for. Honestly, that I would say that is intentional. I like listening to short songs. I often, I think I have very strong feelings about like, do I have anything else to say? No. Then stop. Stop talking. Like unless you're adding something to the conversation or adding something to the story, I don't think there's like I some like okay, like I think that sometimes like people have really interesting complicated stories to tell. I don't think I'm one of those people. I think like my stories are it's like I try to like, I'm like, what am I thinking right now? What is this feeling I'm trying to like, I generally do like, what is this feeling I'm trying to like change, or what is this feeling I'm trying to express? Um and I don't have the most complicated feelings. I don't think. Like I think sometimes they can be complex, but like they're still pretty simple. Like I
I
think
mean, they
there's a
are
lot of,
simple.
yeah, I think there's beauty in simplicity, there's value in simplicity. And there's times when I think like I definitely like in a lot of things in my life, in a lot of like of my like the way I like to think about the world is very complex. I like things to be muddy. I like things to be shades of gray. I like things to be very, I think it's very important to bring to make. What am I trying to say? Complexity is very important. It's important not to dumb down actual experiences, but
Hmm.
feelings are different than reality, kind of in a weird way. I don't know. Like I'm
Yeah, I
like,
hear
this is
you.
not this is not a fully fledged idea, but basically it's like I think songwriting is a place where I can be simple. Songwriting is a place where I can just be like, this is just the one thing that I'm feeling about this one thing, you know. Whereas
That
in other places
simplicity
I feel like,
definitely comes across. Like
yeah,
I think that simplicity definitely comes across in a lot of ways, and I think that um like lyrically there is like a simplicity to it. There's a relatability to it. There's like your inflections like in your voice and the way that you write is really, it's sort of otherworldly but at the same time very conversational, so it is like this relatable thing. um and Yeah, I mean, like, I was going to ask you a question about, like, I was going to ask you, like, is that what you're trying to do with your lyrics, is to, like, have them be kind of like a conversation that's sort of relatable and short and sweet? And I also wanted to ask you about, oh God, ask you about, right, yeah, okay. So there's a definite simplicity, and that's the kind of conversational aspect of it, is that simplicity. But I also find, like, in a lot of your songs that there's like there's a there's opposites all the time. Like, there's contradictions in your
Oh
lyrical
yeah.
content. And I guess, I mean, that relates back to you talking about how feelings are different than reality. And I guess, is that something that you're sort of like angling towards? Like, I know you're not angling towards complication, but are you angling towards maybe like the the duality
The
of human
dialectic, one
experience?
might say. Yes. No, I like 100. I feel like there are times when I'm like, did I just invent DBT? Like, not actually, but low key. Like, I think that there's like, I like, I think that's like the main, the feeling that I sit in so often is like, I'm feeling this and this at the same time. They both exist, even though they contradict one another. It is frustrating, but there can also be peace, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I think I aim my, like, I feel like there's like, my life goal is like just to be at peace with the fact that two things can be true and opposing at the same time. There are two wolves. One of them's horny, one of them's hungry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It sounds like you do know.
Yeah.
I think that you do know. Um, this is like, you keep on saying, I'm like, I wrote all these questions and was like, these are thoughtful questions, and then you're so thoughtful that you're already telling me the answers to them. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just throw this out.
Aw.
But I mean, yeah, in Judgment Card, specifically, you lament that you write another song about a thing I thought, make it look easy even though it's not. So, I mean, we were talking about how, like, it feels easy, it feels effortless, it feels conversational, like, when everything's put together.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, like, how difficult is the process? Like,
Like,
what does it entail when you do write a song? Is it just like endless editing to
no.
get down to that like minute and a half, or
No. That's not how I roll. I like, I guess what I mean in that lyric, I appreciate that you point that out. Yeah,
I did my homework.
yeah, baby. Yeah, in that lyric, I guess what I'm speaking to is more like, I feel like the work that I'm talking about, the part that's not easy, is the transformation. Like, it's like I have this output of, like, you know, cute songs that are conversational and relatable, and it's like, I guess, and it's like, I kind of like, it's kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tongue in cheek. Like, sometimes some people are like, oh, it's kind of like you have funny songs, like they make me laugh sometimes, and it's like, like, because I think, to me at least, like, these songs that are like kind of funny and like cute and seem really simple and like seem really casual and easy. They're short. They're cute. um they're the result of like a lot of, like, just like, if I go way back, like, it's the result of like years of musical training. It's the result of, like, you know, years of intensive like self-reflection, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not easy. You don't just wake up one day and become future star, baby. Like, I have suffered. No,
years of agony have gone into the creation of Future Star and how brilliantly she shines.
Yeah. A diamond is created from
You're like
pressure.
a diamond.
No, but seriously, like it's like, I think it's like, what I want for people to take away is not like, it's like, I do want the takeaway that, like, you know, it's anyone can write songs and anyone can, I'm very strongly DIY punk aesthetic, but I it's this dialectic thing again where it's like, it's easy, anyone can do something hard. That's what I want to say. Anyone can do something hard. You got to start somewhere. And I just don't want people to think it's supposed to be easy, because it's not. I don't want people to think it's easy, because then you get discouraged so quickly when you realize it's not. Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. I think that, you know, there is definitely a mastery to being able to pare down a song that much to have a sort of like not bare sound, but this down to the basic sound while the song's still feeling whole, which I think is what you've accomplished. And it is really difficult to achieve, for sure. And you're right, like you don't want people to feel like just because it's hard doesn't mean you should do it. Just because it sounds easy but it's actually hard doesn't mean that you should do it. But I also think too that maybe a little bit what I'm getting from you is that it can be at times insulting when people are like, oh yeah, they're just funny little songs.
That's part of it.
When, you know, there's so much training and you know, agonizing over like how to make it as bare-boned as possible while still having this sort of holistic
I just don't want people to think that I'm not thoughtful. Like, I feel like sometimes, like, and this is part of my brand, you know, part of my brand is like, I'm cute, I'm funny, I have 1-minute songs and they're cute, and being cute is part of my brand. But I get really frustrated when people don't acknowledge or seem to see that is, I say this for all people who are pinned as cute across the world. Anyone
standing up for cute rights,
baby. Yeah, like it takes a lot to make someone feel comfortable. It takes a lot, it takes a lot of emotional labor. I hate that word, I hate that term, but like there's a lot of emotional labor that goes on behind the scenes that you don't see. And every time you call someone cute, you need to be like smart about it. I think you need to be thoughtful and not think it's just I'm going around.
Now we're just
it's not a word to throw around.
Now we're just talking about cute rights.
Yeah.
And how insulting it is that, you know, cute people out here actually trying to be cute.
Yeah.
It's not innate all the time.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know.
You just want to feel seen, which I feel is seen. Like,
and like,
yeah, it's
yeah, I guess it's, and like part of this is like baggage from like going to jazz school and being like, and feeling like I had to like make, you know, I had to like scat the hardest scat, and everyone's like, wow, Selena, you can sing a sharp 11 and it's so cool and that's valuable. And I was like, I don't think this is actually how I feel. But like I felt so pressured to you know, fit into this like hardcore sort of highly technical way of performing. And so I feel like in a lot of ways Future Star is a huge rejection of that, because I was like, that was not good for me, that broke my heart, that like screwed me up. And yeah, and it's like, and it's just not who I am, baby. Like, I gotta be me.
Gotta be you.
Yeah.
I think that both of those things come across like in listening to your music, especially this new record. That kind of like that sensibility, that like technical sensibility that you do have sort of instilled in you, whether you like it or not, and that sort of that more like punk rock, like whatever.
Yeah.
making content.
Make content.
I think those two things like are married really well. And actually, I want to ask you like a little bit more about like your musical influences outside of like your friends who have been helping you create this record. Because like after I was listening to your stuff, I was listening to a singer named Irma Thomas. She started in the 60s. She's like a soul singer from the 60s. And a lot of her songs, like there's one song, I can't remember the name of it, but it had an organ in it. And some of the lyrics were also quite thematically similar to your stuff,
Cool.
actually. Yeah, and especially in, oh, what is that song? I have it written down somewhere. There's this one song where it's quite like pronounced, I think, the similarities between like maybe
Oh my
like
God.
a 60s pop soul
I love
record
that.
and
I've never
and
had
your
anyone
stuff.
compare me to like 60s pop soul. Everyone's always like, wow, you kind of sound like
Yeah.
Tegan and Sarah.
Well, I mean, like it's because it is sort of formulaic in the same way where it's like, well, let's pare it down, and these are all really great musicians, and this is
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
voice. And the song that I'm like thinking about, I've just checked, is like the song "I'm So Alone," which is my favorite song off of the record.
That one is actually kind of 60s.
It's sort of
And
it
then,
sort of has the 60s thing.
Yeah, that like
Yeah.
6/8 thing. Yeah, yeah.
But I think that like throughout the record too, I think there are some similarities between that. I mean, I'm just going off on my own tangent now about
No,
Irma Thomas, but I want to know what your musical influences are. Like, what do you listen to?
What do I listen to? I listen
Yeah.
to nothing that sounds like me. Honestly, I've had people ask me like, "Wow, would you ever make an album that sounds like Carly Rae Jepsen or 100 Gex?" Like, no, I wouldn't. I don't know how to use a computer barely. Like, that's what I like. Like I don't know. I like high pop. I love like yeah, like hyper pop. Like Charlie XCX and like Sophie, rest in peace. Like 100 Gex is great. Yeah. Who else do I like? Yeah, huge influence. Like, but not. They're not like they don't influence me in the sense of like I want to emulate this sound because I'm never gonna sound like I'm never gonna be in a studio with like network records or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never gonna have enough money to sing a song that sounds like something on the radio. I don't think, and I don't want that either.
I mean,
well, like
all right, because you still want that sort of like edge that you have right now.
Yeah, and to me, like I feel like when I think about like artists that I'm most inspired by in terms of like their career trajectory and the way that they express themselves, I think of like Magnetic Fields and like I don't know, maybe Arthur Russell is really eclectic. Like yeah, eclectic in that like, you know, his output was prolific, but also very wide varied sort of like sounds. And like I really enjoy like being able to like experiment a bit with like the kind of album I'm putting out, I guess. Yeah, and like yeah, I would say like honestly, if I had to pick, yeah, and like locally, Chris Horrific is obviously just like made me be like, oh, I can just write songs on my piano and it's fine and just sing and yell and it's fine, and it's like there you go. Also bizarre, like one of my earliest influences that like made me be like I can be in a band and play the keyboard was Hawthorne Heights. And was it Hawthorne Heights? No, it's another band like that had a keyboard in it. Bobby and Bonnie was one of their hits. Oh, I can't remember. What are they called? I don't know. Anyway.
They're one of your early influences.
One of my early influences I should know the name of. It's not Hawthorne Heights, but I thought it was Hawthorne Heights the other day. And that stuck in my head. Houston Calls, that's what it is. Houston Calls.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like
nice.
an emo band that had a synth in it, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I can do that." Yeah. Who else? Honestly, and then like I don't know, like I was really into like, yeah. I don't know, like, I don't know. I feel like in terms of actual musical influences, I feel like Arthur Russell, Magnetic Fields are like two big ones. Just because they do what they want and they're not super pop. They're like cult popular in this way where it's like
Yeah.
you should be more famous than you are. Like your songs are amazing.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be.
I like the not like the I like pop music that isn't like super popular.
Yeah, no, totally, yeah.
It's like the best pop is the stuff that I don't know, like underground pop sounds like a what is that called? When it's two opposite, it's an ironic thing. What is that called?
Is it not ironic?
No, I don't think it's ironic.
Two opposite things.
That it is.
Oh, it's like juxtaposition, kind of. No, not quite.
We're headed in the right direction, but we're not going to figure it out.
I know what you're talking about. It's not.
That's too bad. But like unpopular pop music.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck. Whatever. I'll probably remember like.
Oh my god.
At midnight, and I'm gonna text you and be like, it should have been in the interview, but it's not gonna be now. You know what? We'll put it on a banner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my sound guy, aka my brother Vaughn.
Thanks, Vaughn. Shout out to Vaughn. Woo, you rule.
Shout out Vaughn. Shout out Vaughn. He's the best one. Unpopular pop music is excellent.
Yeah.
It is so good. I mean, like, I do love just like straight pop music too.
Yeah.
I feel like you do too. Like,
I love
like a lot of like
pop. Like high pop, like Carly Rae Jepsen and like Beyonce. That's what I consider to be high pop. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love the ranking system: high pop, medium pop,
medium.
Low pop.
There's 100% medium pop.
Where do you think you fit?
I'm low pop. I'm lo-fi, baby.
I love that you keep. I'm like baby. I love it. So in the simplicity, which is, I really like that song. I feel like that song really encapsulates what we're talking about, the duality.
Thank you.
What, a dichotomy? Love that song. What other words? It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's got the song itself, I feel, is like maybe even a little bit more, has more of a atmospheric, like ominous sound to it, like a really whole sound. I really like that song a lot. And it's a little bit different than some of your other songs.
It is too. Yeah, it's definitely different. It was like that's the song that I was like, and now I'm over my ex. Yeah, like I don't know, and I really tried to encapsulate the idea that like of time passing. Fun fact about that song, I
think you nailed it.
There's like a fun like that the like hook, not the hook, but like the sort of bridgey thing in that song is where I go like the enormity, the simplicity. When I wrote that song, I was like, oh my god, the enormity, the simplicity. This is so much imbued with so much meaning. And at this point, I'm like, I don't remember what it meant. And I was just like, what was I talking about? Like, I don't know. The rest of the song makes sense to me, but that one part that's so intense, I'm just like, what?
It's so intense. The thing is, like, when I was listening to it, I was like, this means so much, and I can't quite grasp what it does mean, but I feel like it thematically fits really well with the rest of this record. Sort of like by context, by context clues. It's just like, yes, I understand what it means, but only in this larger context of this album sort of like tearing me from one side to the next over and over again. Yeah. But yeah, in the song, The Simplicity, I would like to know, how gay is the lyric on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay. How gay is this lyric? Hold my hand and I feel safe. Tell me this is maybe faith. How gay is that? Scale of 1 to 10. Because for me, it was like a real smooth 11.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I love the first two verses of that song. Can I just 1 second, how does it go?
Yeah.
It's like
please.
Yeah. I closed my eyes and saw the cliff, walk toward it still. Close my eyes, hold my hand and I feel safe. Tell me this is maybe faith. So the idea of that's okay, so just because that I feel like that chunk is like one big story. It's the idea. It was basically, it's not gay actually. That was a purely
Shocking.
Bisexual situation.
By contract, I get it.
Yeah.
You.
But no, it was like, okay, so with my ex, who was a dude, it was like the idea of like, it's like, I know this is going nowhere. I know this is like, we're walking towards a cliff. We're walking towards like an inevitable end because this is not going to work out because I'm gay. And other things
so
too.
Then it's a 10.
Anyway, and it just like the caring that existed in that relationship, even though it was kind of going towards this inevitable end, like the caring and the safety that I felt and the importance of that relationship, even though it was like never gonna go anywhere or whatever, it was still it still felt really safe and it still felt really loving, and it was like, yeah, I don't know, I just like to have faith and safe rhyme, a little slant rhyme for you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's a good rhyme.
Thank you for pointing out that lyric. That's a fun one.
Yeah, no, it's a great song.
Aww.
I know, I heard that lyric and I was like, oh my god, I know what this is. I know this one. I've got some more questions.
Yeah.
Do you have any dating advice? Do you have any?
Get your friends to make you date someone that you like. Like, make your friends hook you up with another one of your friends.
So date your friends? Is that?
I don't know. No, like, I don't know. I guess my biggest piece of dating advice would be put out an album about how you're gonna be alone forever and just wait for the right one to come along. Complain about your lack of a wife for like a year and a half.
It was like a year and a half.
It was a year and a half, and I was complaining every day on Twitter. And the person I am now dating read every single one of those tweets, and they loved it. They
were really funny. They were really funny.
Yeah. I wrote a lot of poems about wanting a wife. Anyways, now okay. I have a wife type. A wife. So
guy. Manifest a wife through tweeting and poetry.
Tweeting poetry and release a vinyl album about being alone forever. That's the key. That's the magic spell. Honestly, I was saying
it's a 3-step process.
Yeah.
Real simple.
Yeah. You'll find love, guaranteed, or your money back. Trick's on you. I gave the advice to you for free.
Wow, your generosity knows no bounds. I've got a couple more questions here we could move along to. Why aren't we better friends?
'Cause we started becoming better friends, I feel like, right when, like, I feel like you're one of the people who I'm like, I feel like we kind of got to know each other like from a distance almost. Yeah. And then like I moved to fucking Victoria, and it's really hard to like, and then COVID happened. I don't know. I feel like we should be better friends. And I can only hope that the future holds a lot of chit chat and friendship between you and I.
Full disclosure, this interview is like just an excuse to talk to you. I'll be your friend.
I love that!
So, I'm a big fan.
Oh,
personally,
Colleen!
Professionally, I'm a big fan of yours.
Colleen, okay. I have thought you were cool and intimidating since like I was like 20 years old. Literally, I remember being 20 years old and being like, Colleen is the fucking hottest bitch in this city. She is like so cool in so many ways. And like, then you became Butch Jesus, and like everyone I meet like in Victoria will be like, oh my god, you're friends with Butch Jesus? And I'm like, fuck.
This is about you.
Oh.
We're gonna have to edit this whole thing out because
Yeah.
now you're just talking about how great I am.
You're great.
This whole thing.
Colleen,
You're
great.
You're great.
Oh my god. No,
You're great.
I honestly, yeah. I just remember, and you're just a cool lesbian, Colleen. You're an iconic Vancouver lesbian.
I'm a drive deck, baby.
Damn, you
Born and
are,
raised.
but like born and raised, literally. Like,
Yeah.
you are. I can't even explain it. It's just there's something so iconic about you that transcends everything. I don't know. It just transcends like category, you know.
I don't know. Cool butch lesbian. I feel like there's three, and
Those are
right
really good categories actually. If you're picking three,
they're definitely my.
I should
favorite.
make you a sweater that says that, Colleen, cool butch lesbian.
I'd only wear it to hang out with you.
Oh, oh my god.
Yeah, no, you're. I also think you're beyond iconic. I thought it was really iconic when you were like, "Should I bleach my hair?" And I said no, and then you did it anyways, and you looked really good. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I asked people...
I was wrong one time. I was wrong once in my life, and it was about that. Mm-hmm. So that's iconic of you to prove me wrong.
Truly. Yeah. We're like, I feel like we're like, oh man, I don't know. We're both iconic. It's great.
Yeah, you're iconic. You've got iconic outfits, iconic shoes, like all the time. Now you have iconic hair against my terrible judgment, apparently. Iconic music, iconic laugh. You got a great smile. You got that little gap in your you're just, not to break you down to brass tacks, but you are adorable. Iconically.
See, I feel like, you understand. You're allowed to say that. You know? You understand.
Yeah, I'm on
meaning.
The in crowd.
You're in the in crowd.
I'm a cute ally.
Exact. Oh my, Colleen. Yeah, actually, you're not cute at all. You are, like, intimidatingly attractive.
Stop. You don't mean it. Say it again. Never mind, don't. Wait, what was that? No, I actually heard you.
Oh my god.
You flatterer. You. I've got one question. One last question, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. But what is your one request, and has it been fulfilled?
My one request was obviously
a wife.
Effectively, yes. All I wanted, I was like, I want to fall in love, like, woo, like, yeehaw, ooh, we're in love, and we're tweeting about each other, and we're like giving each other little gifts, and we just look at each other like this, and I got it. I have the best fucking partner in all the world. I'm really excited because, oh man, just like a way to tie back into the promo so I don't just start gushing about my partner. But they made a playlist, a DJ of Love playlist that I'm going to be releasing soon. I don't know when we're going to be done with this. Like, I don't know when we're going to release this interview, so we might have already released the playlist.
Yeah.
But anyways, they're making a playlist. They like drew a little picture to go to they're an artist. And they drew a picture of the DJ of Love. And it's so fucking sick. Oh my god, yeah. Anyways, I love my partner. It's very gay. It's fantastic. It's the best.
Good. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
And all it took was 3 steps.
3 simple steps. They call it
Twitter, poetry, and vinyl.
Twitter, poetry, release a vinyl.
Yeah. You made it. I'm so glad. Yeah. And like again, it's a great record. I really, really, really enjoyed listening to it. And I also feel pretty special that I got, to listen to it before anybody else does. Yeah. And I know when the release date is and nobody else does.
No, everyone knows about the release date now. Exclaim wrote a little article.
That was in my intro.
Oh.
You know what? Whatever, it's fine. So let's Where can people find you and your music?
If you go to futurestar.bandcamp.com, or if you look up Futurestar in any of your streaming apps, or you can find me on Twitter at foreverfuturestar, or you can find me on Instagram at foreverfuturestar, no number. Also, I have a website, futurestar.rocks.
Tight.
I have like a lot of socials.
Yeah, list them all.
At facebook.com/foreverfuturestar. No number. The only one with a number is Twitter, foreverfuturestar. Because I couldn't get Forever Future Star. Anyway.
Unfortunate, but here we are.
Here we are today. I have a great Twitter. If I never made it as a pop star, my second big dream would become Twitter famous.
Those are two,
equal and valuable dreams. Oh my god.
Equal and valuable and very chill sort of goals for sure.
Totally. Yeah.
Low pop, high Twitter.
That's so fucking funny. Oh my god.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
And thanks for talking with me. This was really fun.
This has been really fun. It's been like almost an hour, I just want to say.
Yeah, I know. I was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it'll be 15 minutes. I knew it would be longer because I'm good at chatting.
And
so are you.
I have a podcast now. This is my first episode.
Oh my god. Start a podcast, Colleen. A vlog.
Do not encourage this behavior. It's really detrimental to me and my mental health.
Is it? Why?
Because I'm already obsessed with myself. I don't need to take another step towards it.
Oh my god, yes you do. Lean into it. That's what I do.
Oh yeah, and now you have a partner who's the best and an album on vinyl.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm
maybe
winning, baby. Sorry.
I love it so much. I'm winning, baby. All right, that's it.
Okay. It was such a charming treat to talk to you, Colleen. I'm so excited for my release of my album.
I am also so excited for the release of your album.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the sound on my thing now. Is that okay?
All right. Yeah. Turn off the sound on your thing.
Love you lots, but let's keep chatting after this, okay? 1 sec.
Yeah, we're going to.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Whoop.
Great.